Hi, it's Dre Griggs with Obsidian Wisdom. Most people worry about money, so we created the Wisdomites framework to help you eradicate financial stress, generate a passive income, and build a prosperous retirement strategy. We are fiduciary advisors who combine comprehensive financial advice with retirement planning and generational wealth management. Today, before we get started, you can share your thoughts with me on our question of the day, which is financial advice worth it? Now, this question is going to be something that most of us are always trying to figure out. So we did bring some data for you, and I'll put the links in the description and in the article, so you'll be able to reference them as you want. But when you're really deciding whether financial advice is worth it, the first place you want to start naturally is, where are we getting the financial advice from? Financial advice surely can be worth it if it's from the right person. Are we getting financial advice from a professional, someone who's been trained, reads the market, studies this material on a daily basis? Or are we getting this advice from someone maybe who got lucky on a one-off, or someone who is actually really bad at finances and they just like to share their advice anyways? Now, we've all received different advice and that's given us different results. And the most difficult thing that you'll find whenever you're dealing with financial advice and determining if it's worth it is really, what is the value? And for example, if I was to get a Rolls Royce, it's about $500,000 to purchase one. And if I was to sell it to you or offer it to you for $10,000, $15,000, I think you could see the value in the sense that you know that if you could get that car from me for $15,000, that even if you decided in 2 months that you no longer wanted to drive the vehicle, that you could sell it for a sizable profit. Even if you didn't get the MSRP value of $500,000, you know that you could sell it at least for 100 or 200 or even 300,000, and that would be a steal for someone else. So in that instance, even though you may not immediately be like, well, I want one, or even have ever cared for one, you can recognize the value because you're determining the value based on the next person's ability to purchase it. And you're right that that will be true for many things in life where we have generally accepted values. So as a result, we are like, okay, well, I know that this is good or this is not because I could give it to the next person. Your financial plan is not like that. The thing that gives it the most value is the fact that it's going to be customized to you and your needs with your goals and your timeline. And it's a snapshot of where you're at today. And it's ideally it's drawing a bridge to where you want to be in the future. So it becomes difficult to tell immediately, well, is there really value in this plan? Is the financial advisor worth it? Now, there is some data where Vanguard says that if you are thinking from purely the behavioral stance, where it's like, hey, generally speaking, the way that we make decisions when it comes to our investments is when everybody loves it and everybody's talking about it, then we get our fear of missing out. We get a case of FOMO. And so we're like, okay, well, I'm going to buy the stock too because everybody seems like they're making a ton of money on it. And then the opposite is true. When everybody is selling it and nobody likes the stock, we start feeling like, okay, maybe I'm missing something, so let me sell my stock. Well, the issue with that plan or with any of your assets is when everybody likes it and you go buy it, well, that means you're buying high. You're buying it at its absolute highest point. And then the opposite is what's happening when everybody is selling it and it's dropping, 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 and you're like, I'm going to lose everything. Let me get rid of this. Well, then you're selling low. And if you make a strategy of buying high and selling low, well, you don't need me to tell you that that plan is not going to work over the long period. So part of the benefit that you have from an advisor is just against your human desire to be like, okay, well, when things are really good, I want to join. When things are really bad, I want to leave. If you have a well thought out, a well designed plan, then you'll be like, okay, when things are going good or bad, you're just going to stick to the plan because the principles that you design the plan through is still going to work really well for you. So for instance, if back in like 2008 during the recession, if you were someone that was like, okay, I have Netflix stocks, or and then the market was crashing and everything was dropping. Well, even though Netflix lost maybe half of its value, did really anything with the subprime market and the financial credit crunch, did that really have anything to do with the underlying principles that had you invest in Netflix? And well, the answer is no, of course. And so, if you held that stock, then you would have received your investment back plus or times like hundreds of percents, because it is not always going to be what everyone's doing that impacts whether your decision is a good or bad decision. Now, that's not always the case, and I get that. And nor do you think I'm giving you, unique advice to your particular situation. But just in the high level discussion, you want to make sure that your plan is something that you believe in. And the only way that you can stick to your financial plan for a long period of time is one is if you believe in it. So when things are happening around you, you're comfortable with your plan. And if you have advice from someone that maybe you don't believe in or you don't trust, well, then that makes it difficult for you to stick to that plan. So you want to make sure that the person is a fiduciary generally, and you want to make sure that they have some sort of credentials in that they're maybe they have a background or at least a history where it shows some of their successes. The good news is if you can see that if you have an advisor that helps you from the behavioral aspect, well, then it's shown statistically that you're going to receive at least 3% more of a return than someone who just does it on their own. So that's actually a pretty good benefit if you have the right credentials in your advisor. Next, you'd also want to think about the fact that, well, sometimes dealing with things long term is difficult because you don't have an accountability partner. What I mean is there's a point in time where we're really excited for something, where we're like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym, okay, I'm gonna eat healthy, okay, I'm gonna start, traveling, or I'm gonna spend more time with family, whatever it was that you were excited about that you started. Well, over time, that motivation and discipline may fade as things maybe creep back into normalcy. But if you have an accountability partner, if you have someone that you're doing it with, if you have a personal trainer, then you're more likely to work out. If you have a chef, then you're more likely to eat healthy. If you have really an accountability partner where you wanted to maybe go walking every day, well, if you go walking with a person every day, well, it's more likely that you'll go versus if it's just by yourself. You can talk yourself into and out of anything. And the same is true with your financial plan. If you have an accountability partner, someone that you meet, once a year or once a quarter or however, whatever the frequency is, well, then they're going to be able to help you, talk you off the ledge, make sure that you remember what it is that's motivating you to make these decisions financially that you're making. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? When you have that accountability partner, even in finance, you'll find that it helps a lot because we're trying to make a long-term plan. And long-term is the key to the game because if you were to put money in, and I think you may have seen the stats, but if you put money in the early 2000s, from 2000 to 2001, even during the 9/11, and we had that dip, if you kept it in for 10 years, then you would have, tripled the amount of money that you would have made just leaving it in. And if you miss the best 7 days over a 10-year span, you'll be very close to just breaking even. It's how important those best days are. And so the best plan you can have is the plan that keeps your money in it over the long term so you can take advantage of these ebbs and flows. Now, if you are someone who is working on your retirement plan and you just want a little bit of extra advice, maybe you want to see what the Wisdomites framework looks like and see if it can help you, well, you can go to obsidianwisdom.com/training, and there you'll get free access to the entire Wisdomites framework, and where you can then build your own retirement plan if that's what you want to do. At least get yourself started so that you can keep track of where you're at, where you're trying to get to, and why you want to be there, which is often overlooked. I have found that knowledge is going to show you how to make money, understanding is going to show you how to keep your money, and wisdom is going to show you how to multiply your money. And I will show you those 3 steps inside of the Wisdomites framework at obsidianwisdom.com/training. And last, having a financial advisor has been shown to increase your quality of life. And what ends up happening is if you have a comprehensive financial plan that is taking into consideration your overall goals and your health and your happiness and maybe the places that you want to go and the people that you want to help and the causes that you believe in, that you end up gaining your financial goals without sacrificing the things that matter most to you in your life, the things that give your life meaning. Too often we are sacrificing everything to gain a certain financial goal, but at the result of your health and your happiness and your wellness and your family. And then as a result, you end up spending the latter part of your life spending all of the money that you had made to buy back your health, spending all the money that you have made to buy back your relationship with your family and to buy back your happiness. As it is said, what benefit does it do a person to gain the whole world and to lose their soul? You don't want to lose the things that may make your life meaningful. You want to be able to have the overall balance that you need in your plan. And oftentimes, the financial advisor gives you that comprehensive view that allows you to be thinking about long-term goals, not just the short-term pains or the short-term desires, but the long-term goals. I mean, the greatest value of money really is the freedom that it affords you. It's not that it inherently makes you happy, it's just the freedom that it affords you. The freedom that it can afford you to take control of your time, to be able to use your time when and where you want with who you want. But we have to also make sure that that freedom doesn't come at the cost of those experiences. All the things that you want to do with your freedom shouldn't be something that you sacrifice to get the freedom. And so we generally, if you have a good advisor, you want to make sure that they are looking out for your long-term interests, not just your short-term interests. They should want to be able to sit there with you in 10, 20, 30 years and they're still comfortable being in front of you where you like where you're at. And as a result, that usually means that you have to be looking at your overall desires and your core values and the people that matter to you. Again, because there is no benefit in sacrificing your soul to gain the whole world. You want to make sure that you have that overall balance. So, whether you're looking at it from a financial standpoint, where a financial advisor is known to give you a 3% bump over someone who doesn't have one, which generally the fees of any advisor is going to be lower than that, or whether you're talking about the comprehensive nature of a financial plan and the benefits of just writing something down. It's been well documented that if you have a vision, if you have a plan, if you have something written down, that it increases significantly the chance of you actually following that plan. Or if you're talking about just human nature, and whether we're talking from the aspect of humans, when things are going really well, we want to join in. When things are going really bad, we want to leave. But in financial investing and asset collection, that means you're buying high and selling low, which is not a winning strategy. Or if you're just talking about the accountability aspect, where you have that person that you talk to, that you meet with on a regular basis, and they make sure that you're staying on track. All of these show that financial advice from a fiduciary professional is worth it. And again, if you are looking for financial advice, if this information has been of some benefit to you, but you want that unique plan, one that's customized to your needs, that will bring value to you in your life, where we're not overstating it to say that from a good, solid idea can change someone's life over the course of their investing by hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so if you are someone who's looking for that, I encourage you to go ahead and get started. Go to obsidianwisdom.com/training, where you will have access to my retirement planning that works workshop. It's free for you. It's about 35 minutes, and I give you the entire wisdometric framework for you. Until next time, I'm always thankful for our time together. And remember that wisdom is asking the right questions to allow yourself to get the right answers. Keep asking those questions, and you'll keep getting those answers. Continue blessings.